DK and Nasser. Well, we got there in the end after all the interviews. We've still got the presentation to come. Best side won it though, didn't they?
Oh yeah, comfortably. Best team, best batting lineup, best spin bowling attack, best wicket-keeper batter, best captain, and probably the best support, well, definitely the best supported as well. You cannot argue with that. They beat everyone comfortably, even under a little bit of pressure. They had the cool, calm head of KL Rahul. I thought today was a bit of a groundhog day from the semi-final against Australia. Instead of one great getting them to the line in Virat Kohli, it was their other great in Rohit Sharma that played a gem of an innings, and then KL and Hardik and all that all-rounders saw them over the line. Brilliant performance from India yet again.
What will it mean to the team? What will it mean to the captain, who there on interview was saying he's trying to change things a bit, he's trying to change things up?
2019 was a bit of a marker. We lost in the semi-finals. And then they tried hard. In bilaterals, they were good. Team India played in a very different manner there. 2022 was when the marker was set. We played very differently in the league stage, but come the big game, people backed away. The pressure got to Team India. And that is when I think Rohit Sharma, the captain, decided, if I am going to be the captain from here on, this is how I want my team to play. And I'm not going to rely on anybody. I am going to take it upon myself to know and show the other members in the team what intent means. And I think that changed the outlook of how India has played from there on.
That's easier said than done. That's easier said than done to change a mindset. Is it a bit like, say, Stokes with a test match side for England? Right, this is the way we're going to play, you all follow me.
Also, you've got to understand, in doing that, he had the skill set of the rest of the crew as well, which were very, very good. But what he did do was, he went hard in the league stage, but in the semi-finals and finals, he took it upon himself to do that again. And he did it so well that he's good at it, because you know the skill set that he's got. Even some of the shots today, I think he's one of the most talented players. Didn't actually bat really well through the tournament, but today he made it count with just the kind of shots he played. And also, the behind-the-scenes work that they put in, the kind of players that they picked, people who believe that playing with a certain intent is going to win them titles. If you do look at how well India has dominated cricket, for some time they've been qualifying to semis and quarters and all of that, but they never made it past the finishing line. And that changed post that T20 World Cup that happened in the Caribbean.
New Zealand gave it their all, as we expected them to do. At 105 without loss, we thought we might be going home a little earlier. Where did the game slip away from New Zealand today, would you say?
I think in the middle overs, they got a bright enough start. They were 69 off 10. I think they got 79 off the last 10, but struggled in that middle phase against the spinners. The crucial wickets of Ravinder and Williamson that fell to Kuldeep. And then there were two long periods where they couldn't score a boundary. So they only scored, I think, at 3.4 runs and over in those 30 overs in the middle phase. And really, for a long time, for 70 overs, this game was a stroll for India. But then you have to admire this New Zealand team. Very admirable. Moment of brilliance from Glenn Phillips when Shubman Gill drove and he took a magnificent catch. And then they fought for every inch of turf, didn't they? They fought tigerishly. They really pushed India all the way. And just for a moment, when Rohit charged and missed, you know, it looked as though there might be a little bit of panic setting in. India too good in the end. They've been brilliant for the last three ICC tournaments when they've only lost one game in 3 tournaments. But you have to admire this New Zealand team.
And their captain, because you picked on a moment at the drinks break where he just gathered everyone together when they were bowling.
Yes, we've all been there. The team's, you know, you're getting hammered, the game's drifting away. What do? You get people together and you ask for one moment of magic. Kane Williamson gave a team talk, Santner gave a team talk. That moment of brilliance came. That's the team talk there from Santner, which followed words from Williamson. 4 balls later, this happened. That will go down as one of the great catches in an ICC event. Easy as you like, no biggie, as the kids say. Then 3 balls later, Kohli out. Short while after that, Rohit charges and misses. And, you know, New Zealand are in the game here, so they pull themselves back into it. They're a never-say-die team. They just weren't quite good enough.
Listen to you getting down with the kids, eh?
That's what they say, isn't it?
Apparently so. I'll take your word for it. Rohit alluded to it there, though. The fact you've got Jadeja batting at 8 must give the top order a lot of confidence to play in the manner that you've just described.
It's a massive luxury to have. Jadeja at number 8, he's a bona fide batter. He can actually not only hold a bat, but he's won games batting lower down the order. But the big change was Akshar Patel at 5. Now that is a big call when you have KL Rahul, who's done brilliantly well in the 23 World Cup, but still saying we need a left-hander, and that's going to be Akshar Patel. They looked at him as a pinch hitter. But as time has progressed, he's become a proper number 5 batter who contributes. Yes, we have Hardik at 7 and Jadeja at 8, which is massive in context that even if you need to play the last 10 overs, you can back them to do it. And that gives Rohit Sharma the confidence to go really hard up top. But most importantly, also tell the rest of his team that do that. Don't ever think, when in trouble, take the positive option. That's the language.
And don't forget KL Rahul as well, because he is often, moved up and down the lineup. In most formats, he'll bat in any position. He was absolutely brilliant throughout this tournament. Difficult runs at times here. As the ball gets slower and it's starting to turn, the best time to bat is at the top of the order. So that finishing role becomes absolutely vital. He said the other day in the press conference, I'll probably turn up to the next white ball tournament and everyone will say, well, the pressure's on you. It's always the pressure on him. He's got Rishabh Pant behind the scenes, the next wicket keeper, who's a wonderful talent. That's the other thing about this Indian side. They've missed the best player on the planet at the moment in Jasprit Bumrah. He's not here, but they win comfortably. The depth to their batting lineup, the depth to their cricket. They bring in Chakravarti. He looks to the manner born. In any format, they bring in new players and they will perform straight away. There's so much depth to their cricket.
And we can dwell on the fact that they haven't had to fly and they've been playing here on pitches that are conducive to spin. But the 4 spinners that they eventually selected have been outstanding for them.
Yeah, they offer depth with the bat. They're all-rounders. They're not just out-and-out spinners, but they offer variety. You've got a right-arm leggy who fizzes them down quite quickly. Beautiful, beguiling left-arm wrist spinner in Kuldeep Yadav. Off-spinner. 2 left-armers in Axar and Ravindra Jadeja. And I thought he used them interestingly today. Used his wrist spinners as the attacking options. Sat in a bit more with his left-armers. But what a lovely 4 it must be to captain, as Rohit Sharma did today. Obviously, they've had conditions here that have been favourable to those 4 spinners. As you rightly say, they haven't had to move. DK's been sat on his sun lounger here for the last 2 weeks, enjoying himself. But you cannot argue that India have been the best side. They've exploited that advantage magnificently. And it's not just in this tournament. Throughout the T20 World Cup, they went unbeaten. They lost that final to Australia in 2023 50-over World Cup. So for a period of 2 years, they've been the outstanding white ball team.
How has Ferrari World down in Abu Dhabi been? Have you enjoyed it in your time over here in Dubai? Specifically about Chakravarti, how pleased and impressed have you been with his performances?
For me, knowing the person, it was about whether he could handle the pressure. I used to get a call every day before the game, the previous night, and used to ask me, what do you think I should do now? Is everything okay? And that's not asking me for an answer. That's just reassuring me that I know what I'm doing, but I just feel good talking to you. It's that kind of personality. He's a bit of an introvert, always doubts himself a bit. But once he's in the park, he goes out there and delivers. He knows the 3 balls that he needs to bowl. He's clever. He's an architect. He's been an engineer. He's done everything. So at the base of it all, he's a clever man who knows how to use his variations in the right manner.
How did New Zealand take on the challenge of the spin today? You quite rightly pointed out, didn't happen for Kohli today, how easily he managed to just get off the mark with proper shots. We've seen that a bit with KL Rahul. Other sides tend to struggle with that. What can you learn from the way Indian play spin, and perhaps when other sides go and take on India again, perhaps in conditions like this?
Well, it's the value of having a mystery spinner or 2 mystery spinners, in that if you have a finger spinner, you know which way it's turning, you can just knock it with the spin. You could see even seasoned pros in the New Zealand lineup who have played IPL, they weren't picking Kuldeep. They weren't picking Chakravarti. Rohit said that Chakravarti in the nets to the Indians only bowls 1 delivery. It doesn't go through his full variations. They've got an IPL coming up. He's keeping his variations up the sleeve. I cannot tell you how easy it is to manoeuvre the ball when you know which way it's spinning. When you don't know and you're second guessing, that's when the dots come, that's when the big shots come, that's when wickets come.